The inaugural Eisenhower Fellowships South Asian Conference and Eisenhower Day celebrations organized under the theme South Asia on the Move, Achieving its Full Potential in the 21st Century commenced in Colombo today. Now, apart from the eminent Eisenhower Fellows, Sri Lankan leaders and delegates also participated in the orientation session, which was held this morning. The Eisenhower Fellowships Association of Sri Lanka was formally established in August 2004. A non-profit, non-partisan organization, Eisenhower Fellowships Worldwide, commenced in 1956 with a group of people dedicated to past U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower's vision of a world without confrontation. Former U.S. Assistant Secretary of State John Wolfe, who is also the president of Eisenhower Fellowships Philadelphia, says that the main focus of the organization is to identify outstanding achievers, people who are leaders in a wide variety of professions.
And we work with them to develop their leadership skills and to help them to advance real outcomes that make their professional lives more successful and their community lives more prosperous. I think the fair thing to say about Eisenhower Fellowships is that Eisenhower Fellows are people who have grasped Dwight Eisenhower's vision that you can use dialogue to promote understanding. You can use understanding as a basis to develop collaboration that actually makes the world more prosperous, just, and peaceful. That's what he believed. That's what Eisenhower Fellows do.
Meanwhile, the former Indian Minister of State for External Affairs and former UN Under-Secretary General for Human Rights, Dr. Shashi Tharoor MP, who is one of the keynote speakers at the EF South Asia Conference 2012, expressed these views to News First.
Well, I've been asked to speak about the leadership challenges facing the subcontinent as we look at how South Asia can fulfill its potential in the 21st century. There is no question that we have not fulfilled our potential. And as a citizen of a country which I'm afraid accounts for about 70% of the population of South Asia and 80% of the GDP, I certainly have a perspective on what needs to be done, and I'm going to offer some thoughts on how and why we must work together to fulfill our potential as a region, as a subcontinent, and as a set of people who really have urgent needs for development.
This morning's orientation session saw the participation of several eminent personalities. The programs held this morning covered a broad range of topics dealing with leadership and change, personal leadership and capability enhancement. One of the key events in this year's Eisenhower Day celebrations in Sri Lanka is the launch of a trilingual children's book by Kalakirti Sibyl Wettasinghe, in which leadership messages of General Eisenhower have been adapted for children and colourfully illustrated in Sibyl Wettasinghe's unique style. Speaking to News First this morning, Sibyl Wettasinghe spoke of her experience working on the book.
It was a bit of a problem for me. I don't know how to read it. So I left it for some time and kept thinking about it. I talked to children about it, and finally I got down to creating this book, and it was a very, very interesting experience.
Meanwhile, the inauguration of the EF South Asia Regional Conference and the Eisenhower Day celebrations are currently underway in Colombo. The inauguration commenced with the traditional lighting of the oil lamp.
Serving their countries and their professions and their families in a leadership role around the world. May they all...
Following the lighting of the oil lamp, welcome remarks were made by the President of EFSL, Sandhya Jayaratne, and the President of the Eisenhower Fellowships Philadelphia, John Wolfe. A special video message from the U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asian Affairs, Robert Blake, was also played at the event. The conference will conclude on Saturday.
Affairs at the U.S. Department of State.